just last night, after much anticipation, I went out and bought the toys. Oh yeah, I watched all the trailers, and like every other YouTuber out there, I speculated. With that in mind, did Rogue One live up to be a war film merely set in the Star Wars universe? Before we continue, I must warn there are spoilers in this review, so don't read anything online, don't watch this review even, until you've gone out and seen the film yourself. With that in mind, let's start with the positives. Oh my god! Darth Vader picks a dude up and lifts him to the ceiling, and as he casually walks by killing a bunch of other rebels, he just slices him in half. The tank fight on Jedha was fucking insane. When the TIE fighters fly across the screen, it's just that classic and Grand Moff Tarkin was in it, and fucking John Vander, Gold Leader and Red Leader, the assault on Scarif. Holy shit! Gareth Edwards employed not only his own, but that of Greg Fraser's from the Zero Dark 30's cinematography to create a grounded war film that happens to be set in the Star Wars universe. ILM's done what many thought was impossible in being able to fool the eye to what is and isn't CGI in the recreation of characters such as John Vander, Grand Moff Tarkin, and Princess Leia. Although Princess Leia did look a little fake, you can't really complain about what ILM did in the film. The fact that it was believable that it could have been Peter Cushing essentially resurrected from the grave is a real testament to how well CGI has advanced even from 1999 in The Phantom Menace, because I feel like that film even still looks pretty good, even if some scenes do look obviously fake. The problem with CGI is how shiny things can look, and I feel like they got the pores in a human's face, like an actual person's face. They got the pores and the actual grime and the shadows, and I feel like that was missing even from last year's Force Awakens with Supreme Leader Snoke, but I digress. No film is without flaws, and while I believe Rogue One is a better film than The Force Awakens in my humble opinion, there are actual problems with it. Before anyone calls me sexist, let me make one thing clear. I've never had a problem with diversity in Star Wars. No one has ever had a problem with diversity in Star Wars. It seems to be some sort of manifested thought that Star Wars is immediately against having women in its movies because of the lack of women in the original trilogy, and that can be attributed to the fact that no one wants to see women get gunned down. That's why the Rebel Alliance was consisted of mostly men, because the Rebels got fucked up in the original trilogy. Pretty bad. Saying that, does Jyn Erso have to be another white female? No. Does it matter? Not at all. I thought Felicity Jones gave a really good performance as Jyn Erso. I will say, however, I didn't really care for Jyn or Cassian. Their characters didn't really do it for me personally, though characters like Baze and Chirrut and K2SO and even Bodhi really stood out. They all had their own character arcs. K2SO going from just nihilistic, obviously, what a droid would be calculating, to actually feeling compassion and friendship for Jyn. Bodhi went from this cowardly defector into an actual war hero. He and Galen are the reason that the rebellion ultimately succeeded in destroying the first Death Star and ultimately won the war. Overall, Rogue One is a good film, a great Star Wars film, though not the best prequel still. However angry or upset that statement makes you, you just have to remember it's a movie, everyone has their own personal preferences, and I think Episode 3 is still a better film. Oh, and one more thing. The music was pretty forgettable. The composer, from what I understand, had 3 weeks to work on it, and you can definitely tell a lot of it is definitely Star Wars music. It sounds like it fits, but it's just not very memorable. They didn't use the Imperial March as much as I thought they would, though that in itself wasn't even a song in A New Hope. It came in The Empire Strikes Back. The Force Awakens soundtrack, I feel, is superior, but you can't really beat John Williams, and this even has some tunes that are pretty forgettable. So keep that in mind. Overall, I like the film, and I definitely can't wait to see it again tonight. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you leave a comment telling me what you think about it in the comment section below. Subscribe for more from me, and may the Force be with you. What a bunch of assholes. They were so worried about one set of plans getting stolen. I bought this in a store.